Aquarius are naturals in the community. You know, they can go out and they have their own high ideals, but they can respect other people and, you know, talk to different sorts of people and all that. And Pisces is the sign after you, so it's the winter. It's you're the middle of winter, and I'm the last bit of winter. And it really is funny because I have a Pisces daughter as well, and we're born like old people, just like, oh man, is this what we came for, you know, kind of thing. I thought I did this already, why are we here again, or something. It's just this old type feeling.
I feel like the Pisces are the most evolved sign of the zodiac.
Your sun is 22 Aquarius, and that's my Mars is 22 Aquarius, and that's a connection where if we met on the street, we would just sort of, hey, I look like the person that would appreciate this, you know, and just start talking together and just be chill.
Well, let's talk really quick about how we met. You just told me how you heard about me, so go ahead and throw that in here now.
Oh, from Frank Monday. So I used to go to Coast stuff a long time ago, but I didn't go.
Oh, wow. You're an old Art Bell girl.
Sort of, you know, just I would go sometimes. I'm more into astrology than aliens and all that kind of stuff. I sort of alien thing because I was like, isn't this taking away from the real advanced like science of astrology that we already had? And doesn't that just put all of they're worshiping the sky, but they don't know anything about astrology. And to me, it just made me really, really mad. And so,
you said a mouthful. I agree with all of that so hard.
Yay. So yeah, on the coast to coast, my daughter and I, we're together a lot. We're like this, and so we to coast, and then we saw this one guy, Frank Monday, and he was saying some fun stuff in the chat, and then he was like, come to my channel and sub, and I have live streaming. So that Aquarius that you have, your sun is in where my Mars is, and they're in the same degree. So I can bet, without even looking at your house and your possessions, that they're very similar to mine, which I already know too, because of your name and what you talk about and stuff, that you're going to have a lot of crystals and a lot of like mystical things and books about stuff and plants and I don't know, just stuff like me, symbolism things and very Pisces like things, but also it's Aquarius too. Aquarius and in the winter together. And so when you said Pisces is most evolved before, well, you're the one right before me, you know, and we are the winter signs. We are the middle, you're the middle of winter. And so you can think of it like the Aries is the first sign, and they really do act like a baby. Like if you know any Aries, and I don't mind making fun of Aries, I'm allowed because I have Aries.
Aries men are so entertaining. I love Aries men.
They are. And you can always pick them out too. I just picked out one in the Coast to Coast chat. Yes.
So now I don't know if you did my chart in Placidus and all of this stuff, but this is a chart of mine, a birth chart, you guys. So we're not, what house system did you use in all that, Mary?
Oh, I have it on Placidus as the default setting because I never mind. All right. Placidus. Yeah, I love your chart because it's so similar to mine. So when I say, you know, like when I'm talking about the possessions thing, that sun, I also have sun there in the second house like that. And that's, it's a little bit of a hoarder almost, you know.
I love collecting. I agree with you. It's not silly. And to me, of course, no. I love collecting. No, like wooden boxes. I'm obsessed with them. Not that I do it a lot, but once in a while there's something special and I get it.
Like a carved sort of thing?
Yes. Carved. Like from India.
Oh, nice. All right.
They're simple. I'm not collecting anything expensive, of course. It's impossible. So let's tell the people the second house is possessions. Tell us all about what the second house normally is.
Well, hey, keywords aren't just possessions, but security and value, what you find value in. So what you just said, like, it's not junk to me or whatever, you know, it's value. Like sometimes it will just be, the sentimentality of it that you're going to keep a little rock that somebody handed you one day when you were in grade 3 or something. Those sort of things there. With Jupiter so close to your sun, that is accentuated just hundreds of times over. And you will have more Pisces-like things there because Jupiter rules Pisces. I don't use Neptune as the ruler of Pisces. Neptune is sort of back over there in the distance where we can't see with our naked eye. And I appreciate the strength of the luminaries that we can see as the rulerships because we don't need any gadgets. We just need us, our eyes.
Wow. That's really deep, Mary. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so Jupiter is Pisces ruler, and they're all the mystical things and the dream world. But my grandma, she used to read dreams, and dreams are huge for Pisces, and they're huge for Aquarius. That's very Pisces-like, which is you. You're very Piscean-like with the Jupiter and then the Mercury in Pisces. It's just instead of being really emotionally involved and so mutable that other people. Okay, for example, when you enter a crowd, you have this solid sort of fixed sign about you. Like you are you, and you have this unique expression. Also with Moon up there on your MC. I was telling you this, close to Uranus like that. Uranus, however you want to say it. I always said Uranus. Okay, sorry. So
that's all good, girl. You are welcome here.
No one get mad at me for that. That's how they taught me to say it. So that's extra just strength of being because it's Libra moon and it's the cardinal sign. So you have a shell sort of, and so do all cardinal and fixed signs. For you specifically, it's a solid shell like armor that you can't really be influenced too much by other people. You take it and go very easily, and you're not completely, I'm just so emotionally. Aquarius doesn't have that. They're fucking way more sane than Pisces.
Yes, I was raised by a triple earth sign, my mother, sun sign Capricorn, and I think she taught me a lot.
Oh, very good. Yes, look, we can usually see the Venus Capricorn?
Yes, my mommy.
Yeah, yes. Like that could be a woman, yes, like that helped you work on yourself. And also
and my guru, who actually helped me give birth to my soul, my guru, she was also a Capricorn.
Ooh, sweet. And look, it's also square to the moon. See the red line that goes up to the MC? I
do.
There's two red lines. One's to Venus and one's to Uranus, right? That's where it is, yes. It's very small, but yeah, that's what they are. So those are an important part of your chart. And I wanted to talk about, because it's boring to talk about your sun and moon sign and ascendant and all that. You can do that wherever. But what I never see astrologers going over is really cool. And I sort of just thought of this myself because I see it so strongly in everyone. Is their strongest aspects. So yeah, you're an Aquarius with Libra moon. Okay, so strongest aspects. When you see those red lines and all that, those are the squares and the trines and the conjunctions and everything. Those are the aspects, and those are how the luminaries, I don't call them planets, I call them luminaries. That's how the luminaries are interacting with each other. So when you see those red lines, that is called the square, and it is 90 degrees. It's a very strong tension-causing aspect to have. So whatever those red lines are connected with, like the luminaries that are involved, they're in this relationship of tense action, and depending on what they are, it's Venus, so it's about women, and it's Moon, so it's about women, so it's about your mothering and about very strong sort of woman-like things, because it's Moon and Venus, and Moon is the mother and the home and stuff, right? And Venus is women and love and pleasure and finances and all that. So those kind of things, when you have that in your chart, we know you had a very strong mother figure right away, because those are very feminine aspects. I mean, very feminine luminaries, but they're in a tense aspect, which you have that tension. See, you have all this red in there. So the more red you see, it's telling you, this is action and tension that is building up and that needs to come out. And so for you, it is the strong, one of the strongest ones. So Sun is right beside Jupiter. They're only 2 degrees apart, and then they're both square to Mars. And that one is super duper Marsy. Mars as in the planet or luminary of war and of aggression and masculinity and just taking control and drive, the engine, you could say. Mars rules our engine and how driven we are. So if you have a weak engine, which a lot of people do, they have a weak Mars and they have a hard time expressing themselves sometimes. and that would be like a Pisces Mars. And those people, they would kind of get into music or something, right?
I've known those people. They're a little wimpy. Yeah. Mars and Pisces, it's like the wet fish. What are you going to do with that wet fish?
Yeah,
Hit me?
Oh my God, it's so funny, right? That's so true. Yes. So yeah, that is not your Mars. Yeah, you have Mars in a fixed sign and Sun and Jupiter, and they're in this square relationship. And those are both fixed signs. And then you have the cardinal signs, the moon and the Venus and that shit going on. So those are very masculine. And by masculine in astrology, you know, we mean the outer stuff, the people who are willing to come out and be like, I'm going to be on Occult Priestess on my own YouTube and try to help people and all that kind of stuff.
Projecting ourselves. Is that like a form of projecting ourselves out into the world?
Yeah, the masculine signs are just projection. In most simplest terms. Yeah, outer. Yeah, just like an innie or an outie, right? And the more
excellent, I like that
people have, the more innie they are, and the more introverted they are. So you have this outer, this moon right on your MC, and people will know you for emotional expressions, but they're not terrible. Like they're not attacking people or anything. It's Libra, it's the lover, and so it's the lover of sharing with everyone and liking to be popular and just loving to know everyone and be able to connect lots of people and network a lot because it's air. And my moon is up there too. My moon is right there too, and it's Scorpio. So it's a great example to see your charts. For example, you are very airy. You know, you have a lot of air. So I would probably peg you as an air sign if I didn't have your chart first. Because the way you are, the way when I watch you on the videos, you can already see that I like hiding because I'm hiding.
I love that. We love lurkers. We are the lurker police. We love you guys.
I saw the video where you have the glasses with the third eye.
And yes, my Prince glasses.
Hilarious. With a third eye sunglass, I don't know. And yeah, that's so very Uranus on the MC and just Aquarius like.
I remember what I wanted to bring up, which really is shocking to me. But a lot of people guess me as Scorpio and they won't let it go. Like they really think I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, well, you know, okay. The fixed signs are all similar. All right. Aquarius and Scorpio, they're similar. So there's Taurus, and then there's Leo, and then there's Scorpio, and then there's Aquarius. Those are all the fixed signs. And they also all represent the middle of each season. So they're the solid, stubborn. Once they've made up their mind for something, it's going to take years if they ever change it. And that's why some people will confuse Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, because of these fixed qualities. They're all the middle of a season, the middle of spring, the middle of summer, the middle of fall, the middle of winter. So you have a lot of that. You have a lot of fixed. It's called fixed. And it literally means fixed. You're planted, you know, in certain ways, and there's no mutability. There's no changing that. So
I feel that like also as a sense of destiny.
Destiny? Ooh,
yeah, to be fixed is kind of like, you can't change this. This is you. Like parts of us are fixed for our mission on Earth, I think.
Yes, definitely. But yes, definitely. And if you meet somebody who doesn't have any fixed, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain. It's the constant, okay. The easiest way, and I love to explain to my daughter like this, is with the seasons. And people, it bugs me that people know tons of names of designer shit, makeup, cars, and all this, and they don't even know the 12 signs.
Bing, bing, bing. Give this woman a prize, please. Bing, bing, we agree. Completely.
If you know the 12 signs, if you know the 12 months, it's very easy to the signs. And it's the seasons too. Spring, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. They're all springy-like. Cancer, Leo, Virgo. They're all summery-like. At the end of summer is Virgo. You know, oh my God, we have to have everything organized as the summer is ending, and we need to store exactly 8.5 pounds of this and 6.8 of this. Why isn't anyone listening to me? Why doesn't anyone care about all this organizational shit? You know, no one does care except for the other earth signs. Oh, they'll be nodding like, yeah, I get you. And you can just see this everywhere happening with people.
You got it down, girl, like a pagan, because if you use the seasons with your life, period,
yes.
Anything you're doing in your life, if you're doing it with the seasons, you're going to be correct because that's God's nature. And I love that you're doing it this way and explaining it through nature, because that's the point, isn't it? It's the sky. It's still nature. It's all nature. And people, many astrologers even have gotten lost in the quagmire, lost in the sauce, and they lose the source of light, in my opinion. So I'm going to go off here for a minute. I've fantasized about finding an astrologer that uses the Greek god names instead of the Roman names, because that would even make me understand it more, because I talk to the Greek gods and Zeus says, well, you're going to do this at this time, and that's in my stars. I just can't read the stars.
Oh, that's awesome. And I can't even, I'm kind of not a book learner, dude. Like, what I did is, I don't know the Greek names. I can't remember. Wait, I know the days of the week are the hints, and in French you can see them very well. And
wow, in French. French reveals so much.
Yeah, French. Lundi, like the moon, Monday. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. Then you have all of the luminaries there. It's easy to remember. But I don't know the Greek names, dude.
Well, we do know that Jupiter is Zeus. We know that one at least.
Yes, we know that one.
Okay.
Or Thor, right? Or Thor. And
but that's that's another pantheon. We only play with those guys. We're not part of their team.
Yeah, I don't know. When you start talking about all the different, like, you're very knowledgeable in all these areas that I'm not. So I'm glad that you like my astrology, because
I love that we can do this. We're teaching each other, teaching the world. It's so Aquarian.
I can't even remember the Greek names. So what are the Greek names? Tell me, and then I'll remember if I remember them.
Oh, well, so
you mean first? Yeah, okay, go.
But you don't have to. I mean,
is it Apollo? No, it's not Apollo.
Yes,
is that Rome?
Yes.
It is?
I think you're right. You're right. Apollo's one of the sun gods, sure. Versus Aries, right? I think. So you understand that the Greeks took all, or the Romans took all the Greek names basically and made a new system based on the old system that was working. So the Romans are usurpers, or, occupiers, basically. Cultural appropriation is what we call it these days, but we called it war back then. And so I need to write them down. I need to write them down because I want to get it in my head. When I'm thinking of Saturn, I'm actually thinking of Kronos, because Kronos is nowhere near as bad as Saturn. Kronos is just a timekeeper on Earth for Earth time.
I do use that one a lot. Chronology, the word chronology. Hello.
Yeah. See?
And the eating the fucking babies thing, that I can swear, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to count from swearing. Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure. So I'm like, wait, I could kind of swear a lot, so I didn't want to let it come out. All right, so
we're on Rockfin. You can do anything but show us your boobs.
Oh, okay. No, you don't want to see my boobs. Anyways. It's all right. Maybe.
Sorry, guys. Not here.
Do you see this book title I'm holding? Okay.
I do. I love it. I love it.
Oh, so this book, it's a 1920 something book, and he's Connor McDarry. It's called Irish Wisdom Preserved in Bible and Pyramids. I also have another one called The Affinity. I just got this one, but it's basically an easy read. It's called The Affinity Between the Hebrew Language and the Celtic. And anyway, this book in particular, plus Michael Tessarian, who you probably know, of course, and a lot of people have pieced together some things. Are you still there?
I am here. I'm giving you the stream so you can show your book.
Oh, okay. And then in this book, he explains how it was actually Irish, and that the Irish was usurped. So what you're saying to me, I don't really know. Like I actually quit school, just to smoke weed and do astrology and be.
Listen to this girl. I quit school to do my soul's purpose. So did I.
And I could see that. I could see that in you. And I knew we would have a lot of, like, a good vibe together, because you have so many similarities in your chart as me. Just
your email vibe. I just want to say, your email vibe is off the charts. If this girl ever emails you, you're going to get a treat. And I think that means she's a writer. I think that's what that means, because you can hear her heart in her emails, and it's beautiful. And I as an Aquarius, I struggle with that, because I'm like, okay, it's just an email, get it done, get it over with. But she really, and also Steve and Chris Cremy also make me stop and pause. Like, wow, these emails are works of art, and I don't know what to do with them.
Oh, That's sweet. No, your emails are nice. Your emails are Pisces-like to me. I was thinking this when you said that I write nice emails. I was like, so do you. What? I don't know. I knew that certain people, when I look at the chart, I can see synastry immediately. Like you have the same sun degree as my Mars. And then I have Venus and Aries sextile my Mars, which means it's sextile your sun, which means it's sextile your Jupiter, which means you'll smile at me and you'll like me and we'll talk. What did I say in the last email? I was like, I'm quick and you'll appreciate that I have things. You're going to like that because you're like that too. And you're going to probably say that. I knew that this would happen. That's how you...
I love that.
With just nature, just the simple everything too. Okay, so what was I gonna? Oh, I was gonna say something and I forgot now. It'll come back.
Well, I know we were in the moon and the Mars aspects of boys and girls and hard problems.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those red. When you see a lot of red in someone's chart, they have a lot of tension. Those things are in fights together all the time. So that's what I wanted to go over. The strongest aspects that people have are sticking out. They're sticking out like a big red nose, a big sore thumb, whatever you want to say. And yours are the Sun square Mars and the Sun square Jupiter. And those, I've read, put your sunglasses on because you're hot with all that red.
So I can see what I'm doing. I need to put my sunglasses on.
Exactly. That's when you have these things within 1 degree of each other, that is a daily thing that comes up. So when other people are like, "Oh, I'm an Aquarius too," it's not the same. You have Jupiter right beside your sun, so it's this huge expression of Aquarius. It's not I'm a conservative sort of Aquarius. It's I'm Aquarius, and
I am the Aquarius.
Yes, I believe in Aquarius. Very Aquarius. And yeah, that does look like Scorpio to a lot of people. So when you see people, I still even confuse that. I think people's signs out. I used to be really good at just sun signs, but then as I started learning all the more layers, it confused me more. Pisces, Mercury, not too great. My daughter, it was so awesome because she was at the library, and this woman that works there with the teen night, says, they were talking about astrology, the teens, and she goes, astrology is a pseudoscience. And this is my daughter telling me when she gets home. She goes, Mom, I said, oh, is it? And then she said, yeah, guess my sign. And my daughter went, you're a Cancer. And she was like, oh my God. And she was like, oh, wow, yeah, you're right. And then she came home, she told me, she was like, I could tell she was a Cancer. She has this snotty look on her face all the time. And it was... And I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking hilarious. Like, even my sister was a Cancer, and totally. And they have this look about them, like a death stare. Scorpio has it sometimes too, but Cancer is the worst. Cancer women sometimes, they just have this look like you're scared to fuck to say anything to them because they look like they're going to bite your head off. Yeah, that was when she was 12 or something. It was awesome. So my children are very versed. I didn't put them in school. I took my son out of school in an early grade, and then I didn't put my daughters in school. So they're used to this all day, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the moon is in Virgo today. And this is what it's like. And you have this. And oh, it sounds like you're having a shitty transit day. All this sort of stuff. It's the rebel. When you have Uranus right there, like you do, and I do, and my daughter does, you will rebel. So when I saw this chart of her, I said, me and my friend, we used to joke, and I'm going to send her to the stream. She was excited that I was talking to you. So I'm going to send her this link, and she will hear me talking about her, because we used to joke around when my daughter was 3 or 4, or I forget. She's 16. She's turning 16 now, but we've been friends for a long time. And I would say, is she going to be a cop? Because of how, how do you rebel against someone who isn't even giving you any rules, Like, you're a free child, do whatever you want with your time. And she's like, I'm going to go to public school. Like, what? That's the rebel, and you have it too. And it's the rebel against home and against roots and against tradition. That's what
so much so. I went through that. I went through that struggle for years.
You're going to be stuck like that forever, though. You know what I mean? Like,
with my real family, like physical family, that's pretty much over because they're pretty much dead. The family I have left, that I don't talk to most of them much, and so that I really went through the existential crisis for years of this is where I came from, but that's not who I am. And even that I'm not really even my mother's daughter, to figure that out, to figure out that I'm a daughter of the universe and to find my true soul's beginning, which is so much bigger than one woman's womb once when you reincarnate several times, So I really went through that. I just wanted to make a note of that.
Okay, speaking about reincarnation, a lot of people say that true node there, right on the ascendant. You see that ascendant on your ascendant?
At the top. Or no, we're at the ascendant here.
Yeah, on the left where it says AC. Okay, if you go to astro.com and you set that settings and extended chart selection to your local area where you live right now. Do you live in Hollywood or something? Or
I am now in Los Angeles, basically downtown. Like if you do downtown, there I am. I'm like, I can see it from my window.
That is so scary to me. But yes, go on there.
It is very scary. Get me out of here, please.
Well, I don't know how to do that. I'm not allowed to go over there. I've always just avoided getting a passport.
I'm just yelling at the universe.
Across there one day. All right, so that ascendant is when you change the chart to your local town, you can watch where everything is in the sky with that chart. So you go on the homepage of astro.com. And then you'll see the chart of the moment, and it will show you for your local area. Then you can see, like I can see right now, the moon rose here about an hour ago, right when we started talking. And there's nothing else in the sky for me. It's all empty.
Oh wow!
For you,
neat.
you're 4 hours behind me, so I can just eyeball this chart and say the sun's still up for you, and that means that Jupiter and the sun and Saturn are all in the sky right now to your west. And it's really neat. So you can watch this all day long, right? My daughter says, exactly. We should talk to them. We really should.
I do talk to them every day, all the time.
Waiting for them, sort of for these influences and wondering what these influences do. Ask, just ask it to the universe or whatever you want to call I used to call it the universal soul. Well, I love that. Acid one time, and I was just completely ripped for like 5 days. This Scorpio boyfriend gave me way too much acid. So I ate all this acid. This is right when I quit school, and I found astrology. Right then, I was high out of my fucking tree, and I picked up a book, and it was one of the only books I've ever read front to back about astrology, and I just was instantly able to see it in everyone. I was like, holy fuck, I remembered everyone's birthday for a reason since I was a little girl, and I would always notice that they were similar, but I didn't hear of astrology before. And then I found
about past lives.
Fuck. Oh yeah, we're talking about past lives. Okay.
No, I'm saying that's your past life gift. You have worked on that gift for lifetimes, girl.
I think so. And so that thing on your ascendant there, that is where everything rises. The ascendant is the east. So that's why those charts are helpful. You can look at the chart of the moment, and that's what's to your east, right there on the ascendant. So when you were born, Rahu is invisible. It's just a mathematical thing. Unless you think that Rahu is real, which I kind of do.
Well, isn't that Vedic astrology? I've heard about Rahu from Joni Petrie.
Yeah, and Ketu are the Vedic astrology names for the North Node and the South Node. And they're the mathematical points that cause eclipses. So what some people say is that they rule somehow your past lives, and the North Node would be where you're going, and the South Node you're coming from. So you have North Node, you have Rahu North Node right on your ascendant, the same degree. See, I think it says 28 and 28. I can't see, it's too small. But that's these things are always on your mind, because that spot also rules the top of your head, your head, Aries, the head. So you could lay your body over this chart, right? Like over a chart, if it had Aries to the left by the AC, and you lined it up, then your head, and you put your body around it, and see all the signs that rule each part of your body. Wow. So that part, quite simply, is always on your mind. Past lives, like she might even be obsessed with trying to find out all her past lives or something. She has some sort of always on the mind. You can just look at identify things very simply without having all of this advanced astrology mathematical nonsense. Nature, that's it. And that's Sagittarius. That is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the middle of the end of fall. So all of the end signs, like how I told you about the fixed ones, you're very fixed with Aquarius and the Taurus, Mars square it. So people notice that you have a very strong sense of who you are. It's not very mutable. You probably wouldn't go change your whole look and your whole everything so much that no one would recognize you. They know that you have this sort of thing that you've got, and it's your thing. And mutable signs do that. That's the Sagittarius. It's wishy-washy, but not in a bad way. It's wishy-washy away the last bit of the season for the new one to come in. So the end of winter is very wise, or the end of the end of fall. Sorry, the end of fall is very wise because you came. The sun set. The sun hit the equator, and then it started to shrink down and pass through Scorpio, where all this deep, intense, mysterious information flowed through you. Like, this is me going through your mom's birth experience.
That's what I'm feeling.
And then as Sagittarius and that node hit the ascendant, there you came. You came out with this goal to be some sort of teacher of it. Even I don't even know, like, honestly, I don't know you very well because I haven't clicked too many of your videos. but it's a good age for me to talk to you now and say all these things because I don't really know you very well. I've only seen a few of your shows, and I'm busy and I got shitty internet and stuff. But I just looked at your chart, and I looked at a few of your videos, and I was like, yeah, she's cool. I know we'll get along, and she will appreciate the stuff that I know, and I'll appreciate the stuff she knows. I could go on for hours.
Well, I have a story that brought it up.
Okay, you talk.
Yeah, you brought up a story. Trigger warning, you guys, it's a heavy story. So about my birth and about going through the Scorpio before I came out of the body of my mother, this is that story. My mother was married to my father, and he was an alcoholic. And at that time, he was violent. My mother was 9 months, excuse me. My mother was 9 months pregnant with me, and my father held her at gunpoint in her house, in their house, for 3 days. And
holy crap.
Then she gave birth to me. She left him. She said, I'd rather be dead than with him, obviously. And she left him and she gave birth to me. And so the first 3 months of my life, I was in the hospital. My mother was there. She wouldn't leave. And she said that I lived on her belly for 3 months as she willed me to live this lifetime. And so then the sleep paralysis started, which is a demonic attack in my early childhood. So I never got a break. I was hey, welcome to the world, good girl. It was a trial by fire. And I feel like I was born from the womb of a warrior. And I feel like I'm here for war. And that's why past lives matter, because I was warring then too.
I mean, it's a sad story. It's exactly the chart. Okay, I want you to look up this later. Marina Darkstar Astrology. Right. You know Marina? Her name is Marina. And if you look on her site for Mars square Jupiter, I also have, and you have. That's the red line between your Jupiter and your Mars. That she calls that the conquistador. Most powerful warrior aspects to have. I know, I have a channel, and it's really annoying to people. That's exactly it. It's like, we are ready. Let's go. And people, Jesus, right?
Real heaven has called me the conquistador before, and I'm like, well, what the heck is that supposed to mean? Why are you calling me that? But I totally get it. I got chills all over my body.
It is only one of your warrior things. Like, you are it. When you see those red lines, especially with Mars is the warrior, and those, especially Mars and Jupiter, because Jupiter makes everything bigger. So it's making that warrior vibe huge in people who have Mars square Jupiter. They are out there on a mission. They always have a mission to save humanity, even. Like, it's not just a mission. I have to go get pizza with cheese. But, if you do have, that's your mission, then you're on that mission and you're going to do the best you fucking can. But it's way bigger. It's always these huge, expansive Jupiterian things. Oh, I have all these ideas, and we just need to get over here and get this organized, and you guys come over here, and we need this group over here, and people around you will be like, slow down. What? And where are you getting all this energy when you're in those moods? Okay. And speaking of those moods, this is important. Speaking of the moods.
Okay.
Everything that's just every day. You know, when you look at that chart of the moment, that it's all working against your chart. So your transits are how you're feeling for the day and what you're going to do for the day. And you don't really have any control about that. People will tell me all the time, no, I don't even look at transits or whatever. And people exactly at 5:05 today, this happened. And I'll look at the chart. I'm like, exactly at that time, Mars squared your fucking moon. What did I tell you when Mars squares your moon? You know, him because you're gonna throw a fucking ball of hot sauces at his head or whatever, right? Like, right? I knew you'd like that because of all the red. You just that red, and you know. And you know, I don't know about, speaking of Alex Jones, which we were supposed to talk about, I guess, or something like that. I don't honestly, I don't know. I'm sort of, I'm open to anything and looking at all that Bill Hicks shit and stuff like that. Hilarious. But Bill Hicks also has really Marsy aspects that are like Alex Jones-ish, and you. And a lot of other people I know. So who, if he is or if he's not, anyway, it doesn't really matter. But those Mars aspects are in Bill Hicks and are in Alex Jones and are in you. And I'm sure many people know you for those. Your friends will all know you as this warrior. She's always on a mission for something. And, you know, working at this big goal of, you know, just big.
Big.
So big. Jupiter just makes
well, there's a song, funny enough, that keeps coming up. I made a pilgrimage to save this human's race, never comprehending the race had long gone by. I'll stop the world and melt with you, babe.
Dream of better lives, the kind which never hate. Trapped in a state of imaginary grace. I made a pilgrimage to save this human's race, never comprehending the race had long gone by. I'll stop
the world and melt with you. Bodhisattva Val.
So the days when you are having one of those days where you're just overworked, that will be when the moon is bugging your, or Mars or Saturn something is bugging your Mars and your Sun and your Jupiter, because those are some of your strongest aspects. And when you have that strong of an aspect with such a tight orb, like they're so close in the numbers that they are together, the degrees, it will be a daily thing. But what you'll see is a waning of this, right? So when the moon is in an easy aspect to that, things will be flowing and you will be oh, I got this goal, and now we are working, and I have this in order, and this is it. This is revolution. And then you'll wane down from that and feel like, oh, just completely drained. On the opposite, it's intense, and it's maybe even what people would call bipolar if mental illness was real.
Woo! If it were real. But no, right. I'm crazy good. I'm crazy awesome. That's the thing. You know, if you read Alice in Wonderland, you totally get that crazy isn't crazy.
Right, exactly. Crazy is the fun. That's what those red lines mean, Corinne. They mean you're fun. You're never boring. The people with all the blue are the people who wouldn't ever even dream of going out to protest anything or to much of a say in anything. You know, they're just those people who are uncommittal to anything, and none of that red for action. Just, oh, it's okay. I don't care. I know everything's fucked, but it's okay. I don't care. You know, there's no fight in them. They don't want to fight. And that's that red. When you see that red, you know, this person has a lot of action going on, and they're always internally fighting, and it's coming out too. And it's in all their expressions.
Well, I hope to also have you back to teach us all to do our chart in the moment chart with the aspects that are going on where we live in the future, because I wish I could, like, okay, so there's aspects that my gods are fighting with each other, the red lines, the squares. And can I talk to these gods and be that between person, because they're both dealing with me, right? So can I be that person to go and talk to them and smooth it out, you know, kind of thing? Is that a good way of learning? I mean, it doesn't always have to manifest in the real world. We can deal with it upstairs, right?
Right. I wrote down some of your transits right now.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Oh, you know what? Okay, this is a cool one. So speaking of Jupiter, is in Pisces right now. And see, you have Mercury in Pisces. So
right.
Jupiter is visiting your Mercury, and Jupiter is like a matured version of Mercury. You could see Mercury as the student and the quick moving communicator, and then Jupiter is the compiled things that quick moving communicator has compiled. So when Jupiter visits your Mercury, which it did for a while, one time for me, a good example is I just sat down at the piano. We have a piano, but I'm not musical. Other people are in the house. And I taught myself a whole really long, and it was so time. I just felt like, oh, I've seen other people do it and I can do it. And everyone else was giggling. Yeah, let's see you do it then. And I sat there 3 days straight and learned this crazy piano song. And it's like that, where you might pick, it might be anything. So these days where Jupiter's going over your Mercury, it could be any new art or any new anything, any new mystical journey that something comes to you, and it's like drenching, overwhelming, so that just comes to you about it. And you're probably already like that. In certain transits, you have those sort of feelings, but this one is really big. Did I write down the exact date? Okay. What does your Mercury degree say there for Pisces?
In
like
my
11
birth,
or something?
my birth chart.
Or 10? The Mercury, yeah, there, but
there he is, 10, 11. So it's a big 10 and a little 11.
Okay, and Jupiter's 11 right now, so that's funny because we're talking right now, and it's Pisces. And it's enlightening, and it's giving you sort of new information that's fascinating to you, and you wouldn't like it. And it could be.
That's exactly what's going on right now. You're fascinating me.
That's right now. That's cool. Wow. Yeah, I might have wrote down that date, and then we were supposed to talk last week, so I forgot now. Yeah.
You're blowing my mind. It's all timing. Everything is timing, right?
I blow my own mind every day, and I've been doing this for like 20 plus years, so. Just every day I'm renewed in it when I look at it, because
that's what I love about these high arts.
It's so beautiful to know. And I will just put my arms up to the sky and say, thank you. And you know what? I feel like my dad's an evangelist, Leo.
Oh, wow.
Mary, read your Bible. Are you reading your Jesus loves you? And he'll put up his hands, and talk in tongues. And that's how I feel, exactly how I feel about astrology. And we have this thing, right? Because he's like, what are you talking about? Astrology's nonsense. And then I'm like, Dad, it's actually the same as astrotheology. And look at all these links. And, I love God too. I love a creator of
exactly
amazing luminaries that are helping me every day. But no, it's just this.
Nobody can love God like a Leo. Get out of the room.
Somebody told me, though, this shit they do is Jupiter. It's doing the cross on like Jupiter. And I don't know. Maybe, probably. There's probably some astrotheology shit on this somewhere. I've heard
it was all stolen. Everything was stolen. So it's not original. Nothing's original to the Christian, unfortunately. Exactly. Sorry, Christians. We love you. We love Jesus, but we got to tell the truth. Right.
Or even if it's not Jupiter, it's the cross, and the cross isn't. Even my dad will say, "Mary, the cross isn't Christian." They just took it, and I'm like, Dad, I know, because it's astrology. It's the equinoxes and the solstices. No, and then that was.
And is that the same as the Southern Cross in the sky?
That's the cross that I'm talking about is like, if you draw the chart, any chart, look at your chart right now. See the black line that goes from left to right? See that?
Right, exactly. I call it the cross of changes. I don't know. I think it's an Enigma song. But that's what I call
it. Fits in so many different ways. But if you draw a cross, I have drawings like taped to my wall. But if I walk around and put the laptop at them, they will for surely cut out. But I'll send you some pictures, okay? But the cross, if you make the short part on the bottom, which is interesting, it's upside down cross, and then you go around with the zodiac, it makes perfect sense because the days are longer in the summer. So one part of the cross should be longer, like the bottom of the cross where it's longer, or the top. It doesn't really matter which way you put it. And then these are the equinoxes. So there's an equal line through the middle. Those are the there's a shorter line when the days are shorter in the winter and a longer line when they're longer in the summer. You can flip it if you want, but that's the seasons. So the cross to me was our pagan people saying, remember this, and it just got usurped into this.
Exactly. And that's why we're grateful they can't change the stars yet, Elon Musk. So until they can change the stars, we're going to keep incarnating and looking up and knowing. You can't stop it.
I don't think those sign sticks can do half the shit they babble on.
But there's like there's a Christian / country song that made its way into my paradigm called the Southern Cross. And I knew that had to do with astrology. I just don't know what. And maybe you don't either, which is totally cool.
Southern Cross, I don't know why it's in that song, but the Southern Crux is a constellation that you live in the South. Yeah, when you live in the South, you can see it.
Okay, well, that's why you put it in the song, obviously.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's a constellation.
In a noisy bar in Avalon, I tried to call you, but on a midnight watch, I realized why twice you ran away. Think about how many times I had fallen. Spirits are using me. Lord, your voice is calling. What heaven brought you and me cannot be forgotten. I have been around the world, looking for that woman girl who knows love can endure, and you know it will.
The tropics are what make the seasons, right? The first point of Aries is spring. And so that's how I related the astrology right away to it. A lot of other astrologers will say it's not related to seasons. Like these professional astrologers, I don't give a shit though. 30 plus years of, they'll be like, oh no, it's not related to seasons at all. Because and NASA and they'll all add.
Oh, Nazi NASA. Yeah, we know all about those people. Never trust NASA.
Story, right? A lot of modern astrology has NASA meanings in it. And I'm just thinking, aren't you guys original? Come on, think of your own shit and stop copying their fake spaceship.
But that, dark people can only copy things. They can't do anything original whatsoever. So there you go. I believe that the most worst people get the most popular. That's just my belief.
Yeah. Well, I was going to tell you a little bit about your transits, and they are kind of fun because right now all of that Capricorn stuff is over your first house. So Mars is there, Venus is there, Mercury was just there, but now he's out of retrograde. So all of those, Mars is a new drive, being driven to new things to do with your self-development, because that's the house of self. And Venus is there too. So Venus softens it up, even though it's Capricorn, and Venus in Capricorn isn't the most softest expression of Venus. She's kind of cold.
So right now in my birthday month, both Venus and Mars are in my first house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you.
right now. And that's huge. That's huge for self-development. They take they are about trying to get organized, new self-motivation, new self-evaluations, looking at yourself from a different view, looking at yourself from feeling more mature in ways, because it's Capricorn and it's Saturn and it's the time and I was going to say, when you were saying chronology, the Kronos eating his baby thing, I thought, when I heard that, right, and I knew astrology, after I heard it when I knew astrology, I thought, it's father time. Like babies grow old and they just die.
That's what I said to Christy on stream. I was like, Christy, he eats babies, but that just means that you grow old. Duh.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, what is wrong with finding the mythology in these creepy things?
What's wrong with people who take it the wrong way and take it all the way to Hellville and then rub it in our face on YouTube for 20 years? Sorry, I just like those Saturn people who are always... People have made millions of dollars just talking about how Saturn sucks. And it's the same thing in Gnostic nihilism, where they just talk about how God sucks. And so if your channel is all about just talking about how something sucks, I don't think you should have a channel.
Okay, so Jupiter is over your third house right now too. So that the Capricorn shit's over your first house. Then we have Aquarius over your second, and then Jupiter-ish coming up on you. Oh, Aquarius right now, the Sun and Saturn in your house of, we went over that already, possessions. The Sun in the second house people, they're sort of hoarders. You're hoarders of weird Aquarius and Pisces like shit. And that's being visited with Saturn. So maybe Saturn you're going through a lot of reminiscing. Because Saturn...
I am. I want to move back to Florida from when I was little, and I'm having all these memories of, wow, remember that in Florida with my mom when she was alive. So I'm having a lot of that.
Oh, aw. And that's also Jupiter. Jupiter is usually a long journey or moving. So when somebody will have Jupiter near their home, like that's where he's headed for you. He's headed through your third house, which is communications and also new, trying to open up as many new avenues as you can, which sometimes involves moving. And when
I hope
Jupiter
so.
Yeah, it could be when Jupiter hits people's IC like that. Sometimes they move. They'll tell me that they just moved, and I will not be surprised at all, because Jupiter wants to open up all these new experiences. So for right now, Jupiter's opening up your mind, and you're being blown by all these new fascinating things. Not just me, but yeah, it is kind of funny that I'm a Pisces too, and I'm the one, and I'm like this Jupiter person to you, and you are to me as well. But we both have our own little niche there. But yeah, you never know. Jupiter might move you, and then.
I'll talk to Zeus about that. Toot sweet.
Talk to Zeus about that. Exactly. Sometimes I just do that. I just lay and pray and talk to whatever, the luminaries, whatever's listening. And
all good astrologers I've ever met know the stars are alive, know that they're real.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think so. They are
I love it.
Goddesses. Gods and goddesses.
That's right. That's where I'm coming from, babe. Since I was 16.
Me too. That acid trip I have is 16 too. And
my God, you had your first acid trip at 16 too?
Did you?
We must be sisters. We're just soul sisters. There's no other way to explain it.
Cool. Yeah, my boyfriend was a bit old for me. He's a Scorpio.
Mine too. Taurus. Yeah. Opposites. Shit. Mine. Whoa, dude. He was too old for me, meaning it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
For me.
I know. It was for me.
Girl,
too.
I'm so with you.
It doesn't make sense.
My God. That's wild. That is wild.
Oh, what did I see you on? The Jesse Lee Peterson thing. Okay, I thought that was fucking hilarious. Because that's amazing.
That's where I say amazing now. He gave me the bug.
I say it too. He reminds me of my dad. And when he asked you the question, and I don't really know. I don't really keep up with politics. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. And I was like thinking, doesn't she know who this guy is? Like, doesn't she know he's just making fun of her? Like, what was she thinking calling there? You didn't?
Oh, I didn't call. Oh my God, they got a hold of me. Are you kidding?
Oh, I was like, how did this happen?
I watched clips and I understood immediately from her. He's my spirit guy. It's like, it's Jerry Springer, but he's a black guy. I'm like, oh, okay, I got that. But he's a minister. And I was like, oh, really? He's a minister. Well, let's see what we can do here with this minister. And he hit on me and asked me to sleep with me in front of everyone. And I think he's married. So I hope he's not that much like your father.
Amazing. That is amazing. Amazing. That is amazing. 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 Welcome to the Father State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Very interesting guest today, Reverend Corinne Wilson.
I wanted to bring up with him about racism and include past lives, because you can't, if you believe in past lives, you can't be racist. It's like impossible. But I was not meant to break the internet that day, I suppose.
What are you talking about? And that doesn't even mean that. It means this. It was ours first, and nice try.
That's what I'm saying. He's towing a line, I promise you. He works at Bond Studios, and he is paid by a conglomerate of people. He's somebody's boy.
Huh. Oh, I didn't realize.
It's all political.
It's more grassrootsy, but what do I know? I didn't look into into it at all.
No one in California is grassrootsy.
I'm from the West
You either
Coast.
play the game or you move. And I have to move because I ain't playing this game.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a fun game.
It's hard. And you know what? Our mask mandate was up on the 15th. People are still wearing masks. I've seen masks.
Oh, so you don't have to anymore? Or they? Well, I mean, not like anyone ever had to. But
what the thing is that the government's not making us do it, but they're making the businesses do it. Oh, so I still can't get in a cab or a car of any sort. And I do have that Saturn in Gemini, meaning
we didn't talk about Saturn.
Don't drive.
I know that's funny. They're Aquarius and Sagittarius. They're just too freedom loving and too like they overthink it so much. It's like that's my freedom, dude. I don't know if I can commit. Like I might be able to, but that's huge. And Pisces are very lost in the moment and adaptable and mutable. And this is it. And I'm sure you have that too because you have the Pisces Mercury. But I usually guess that Aquarius women, especially, don't have children. That's usually my guess. They're that forever community-minded, high ideals, out to save everyone, warrior of the community. Bob Marley, Aquarius, too.
Yeah, Bob. We're Buffalo Soldiers over in my house, that's for sure.
It's just those mutable signs. They're so sweet. They're always open to change for everyone and adapt where they need to. They always know. And that's your first impression, your first instinct. That's your ascendant. Your first, not just the way you look, like your face and how you come off first to people, but when someone says something to you, it's your first reaction. And like I said, you have the past life thing there. So for you, I wouldn't be surprised if every time maybe even someone says something to you, you might have a flash of their past life or something. You might be one of those people.
I am
your past life.
I'm consciously aware of multidimensional levels of my experience, of my consciousness, and something will happen during the day and it will remind me of the medieval times or something. I'm not thinking linearly ever. Again, it's impossible for me to think in correct linear terms, to be ego self Corinne Wilson here on the planet. Yes. And only that would be like giving me a lobotomy. So I'm many at once, and that's the only way I can put it for right now until I learn to express myself better.
You express yourself very well, and that's very Pisces Mercury like. That is, look, like you just have this cute Pisces thing about you. It's so Pisces. Like you have the heart Aquarius, but look, you have this I'm not linear and these messages come to me and stuff. And that's Aquariuses sometimes try to play that they have that. I don't know, but when
really? Fakers.
But Aquariuses sometimes when they don't have any mutability and they just have this Aquarius vibe, I do find that. I do meet a lot of Aquariuses who I'm like, you're just trying to be weird. Like, do you have memorize all the weird things and you're just saying them so that you look weird? And sometimes they're like, yes, how did you know? How did you know I'm doing weird shit? But
you totally called them out.
It's more Pisces like, you know?
It's sweet and innocent. I am innocent and funny.
It's innocent.
That's all.
It is innocent. It's adaptable and it's ready to change anyone, like Sagittarius. It's a good trait because when you have a lot of cardinal effects like you do, that's very stubborn. And people might be like, she's so hard-headed. Why would she's just doing her own thing instead of looking at everyone else? And that's that's cardinal.
That's me all over. I am pissed off, like, sorry, other YouTubers even. Like, you're not doing the formula. You're not following the way you're supposed to do this. Like, I make my own way, people.
Pisces, yes.
I love that.
And Pisces don't need a rule book. You know, Pisces dissolves rules. Pisces dissolves everything from Saturn, which maybe I'll throw that in before we wrap it up. Just we can talk again later and do this because it seems to be working and all that on the live stream now. But I think we covered a lot of stuff. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, was it Moon in Gemini? Yeah, it was Moon in Gemini. So when you have your birthday, we call that the solar return in astrology. Yours was actually the 10th this year, not the 11th.
Oh my God, how weird.
Yeah. So it changes. And
Wow.
on that day, on the exact degree that the sun was in, that was in when you were born, that's called your solar return. And we look at that chart, and it's an imprint of the year. And then we can do many things with that. We can count around the days even and say, oh, on this day, this year for you, this day looks hectic, and this day looks just explosive, and this day looks very calm, and this is when you should maybe do some of this, and sort of we can count around like that. But Gemini moon was there this year, and that's the other air sign. So you're Aquarius with Libra moon, and Gemini is another air sign, and that makes all three of the air signs that you're working with this year.
Well, will I be less sensitive and care less for people?
Oh God, Gemini is such a mind fuck. All the mutable signs are mind fucks. They are changing constantly, right? They're that last sign of each season. So Gemini is the last sign of spring. And in those spring days, well, I don't know because you live in California, but imagine you lived where I live or somewhere in Canada or northern United States when it's starting to unthaw and the flowers are coming out now. I mean, Aries is starting to unthaw. Taurus, the plowing the crops. Gemini, the flowers all come out. It's a good example to say they suddenly pop out. Like you'll be looking outside your window one day, and then the next day there'll be 6 new flowers. And some of them will even die in the first few weeks. They only pop up for a week. That is very Gemini. They will have a new thing that they are always coming up with, a new personality that they're muting into, a new piece of the puzzle that they are just flying with at the moment. It's Gemini, it's Hermes, it's Mercury. Oh wait, did you say once in a live stream like Hermes wasn't Mercury or something?
Oh, it's just the Romans stole and gave him a new name and all of that.
Okay.
But the actual manifest Mercury is a manifest being, I suppose. It's a part of Hermes. But because we put our imaginations on it for lifetimes, then we do have a Mercury. It was so in a sense, yes. Also, Mary Moon, thank you so much. I want you to give us all of your socials. Please give us your YouTube channel, please.
Oh, okay. Do you really? Okay, Two Little Fish. I'm okay. Go ahead. I don't care. Judge me, please. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Two Little Fish. I am at YouTube, and that's it. I have a Mary at Sea Level on Odyssey, but I haven't added anything there. I've had 4 YouTube accounts removed, 5 Facebooks removed, and a bunch of other shit because of my big yap not putting up with shit. And this
you are a rebel, Yale girl.
Yeah.
Woo!